Hey all, Hipper here. So I've made it to the next build I want to show you on Des Moines here. And it is the stealth radar build. And I'm actually using Beapley here. I'll just take the guys off so you can see, with Mikawe as an inspiration and then Mimbelli as another inspiration. So ingenious, full speed ahead, armed and ready, and then the special private zone here. That's the one that makes all the difference. And for this build, at least with one inspiration, you need Beapley at 16.4. There's no way around it, and you need Mikawa probably also at 16.4 actually. 3 of everything, because this is a DD hunting build primarily. This is not a damage build. So a 9.6 kilometer concealment with this build, and that's only one inspiration I've used. My radar is 9.9, so I already have a stealth radar. You can also pop Swirsky on in the second inspiration slot as well, and of course that'll boost your detection even more. So we're down to 9.3, giving you 600 meters of a window to stealth radar. For those of you who don't know what stealth radar is, I'm just going to show very quickly here what I mean when I say it. All it really does is that once you are detected, you know that that's probably a destroyer, and it is within your radar range already. And I got spotted right there. And you see, this destroyer here is smart. He's sitting outside the cap, so I don't actually know that he's there if it wasn't for the fact that I have a stealth build on this ship here, or stealth radar build. So he could just sit there and fire torpedoes at me and I wouldn't have a clue. But because as soon as I was detected, I can fire my radar and show this guy to the whole team, that means that he's pretty much out of the game. I take out his engine here, and then that's it for him. So that's how stealth radar works. As soon as you get detected, you know for a fact that you have a destroyer within radar range, and you can then pop your radar and take them out of the game pretty easily. Like, this thing here is taking a while, but this must be the luckiest Kleber in the world. But it doesn't really change that this is an extremely powerful build, and you can put it on all radar American cruisers, including Atlanta, which is also very nasty with this build here. And of course, you also get the low concealment, like a 9.6 or something I have on this build here, which you can of course always use. You don't only have to use it for chasing destroyers. So that was just to show you what a radar build actually is. Or rather, what a stealth radar build really is. So again, it is just, you get your ship's concealment below your radar range. That's basically it. And I've been playing Des Moines a bit today with lots of different builds, and I also like this build here. I also like the Assure Lane build I showed in my previous video. I've also played with Assure Lane Baltimore. I don't really like that build. So either you set this ship up as a damage farming ship with Assure Lane commander, Montpellier that is, or you set it up as a DD Punisher, which I have in this game here. This build here has the added, bonus of actually being a lot more fun to play than just a pure damage farming build. And here with Beapley, you also get the indicator that tells you where the closest ship is, which is obviously super handy when you are chasing down destroyers. So here in this game here, I'm going for A immediately, because usually a destroyer goes directly for A as well. And if you can catch them in there, they have no escape, and it's pretty easy to take them out of the game. And that's my point, or my goal in this game here. I have my my Beapley stealth radar build, and my purpose in this game is to kill destroyers. And there's 2 destroyers in the game, so there's probably one on each flank, meaning that I'll have to dispose of the one on this flank first. And now A is kept, so I know he's in there, and I have my indicator showing exactly where he is, so it's not even difficult. And then of course, once I've taken this guy out over on this flank, we're going to use the low concealment to pretty much just sail across to the other side and see if we can find the other destroyer. But first we have to take this guy out of the game here. And it's Udalloy, and he has a lot of torpedoes, so we have to be a little careful. But with the fast reload here, you can get these destroyers out of the game quite quickly. This is a Russian one, pretty well armored, so it takes a few salvos. But that's what you do in this build here. Like, yeah, sure, you can farm some damage too if the opportunity presents itself, but primarily you are a destroyer hunter and destroyer killer with this build here. If you want to go for setting battleships on fire and all that stuff, then either use Scott or Assure Lane Montpellier in my opinion. But of course, if you get the opportunity to burn battleships like I'm doing here, then obviously go for it. There's nothing stopping you. Because there's nothing spotted out in the middle yet, so I'm just gonna cap first and then just, you know, get the lay of the land before I decide what I'm going to do. So like I said, this is obviously a resource hungry build because it is extremely powerful. I mean, if you're a destroyer player, the last thing you want to see is a Des Moines like suddenly popping up within 9 kilometers of you with that 4-second reload. I mean, that is a terrifying thing to happen, and obviously it's very, very easy to do in Des Moines because nothing else can spot you except for a carrier. So as soon as you're spotted, you know for a fact, like I said before, that there is a destroyer within your radar radius, and it's just a matter of popping your radar and killing it. And of course, the destroyers doesn't really have pretty much a chance. Which makes it very, very fun. I love taking out destroyers. And that's also why this is probably, well, it's not my favorite build, but it's the one that works the best along with Assure Lane Montpellier, I think. But like I said, you need to pump a lot of resources into Beapley to make this work, at least with only one concealment inspiration, Mikawa, like I have here. If you don't max Beapley, I think you will need both Mikawa and Swirsky to make it work, and perhaps even then you can't do it, because with Beapley, when you get her to 16.4, you get that last 2% concealment perk, and that's what makes the whole difference. You can't really do this without having Beapley 16.4, I'm afraid. Too bad, but that's how Wargaming makes their money, and it's definitely worth it. Like, Beapley is probably the best commander in the game, I think, because you get this like insane buff to your concealment along with the indicator that tells you where the nearest ship is. So chasing down destroyers with this build here is exceedingly easy, and it's also a lot of fun. And like I said, you can use it on pretty much any American cruiser you want to. Wichita, it works on Wichita, it works on Atlanta, I'm sure it works on Cleveland as well, I haven't checked. So if you really want to invest in an event commander, I highly recommend doing it with Beapley, because she is just, well, amazing. And her base perk is also really good. It lowers your fire chance by, I can't remember, 8% I think, or something like that. Pretty nuts. Also notice how efficient my team is in this battle here. They know there's nothing of interest over on this flank anymore. I've already removed the destroyer, and there's just this reversing Chambard, and he is no threat to anyone. I still don't understand players who just play Chambard and just reverse like that, because like, what are you gonna get out of that? You're just gonna get burnt down. Get into a good position, get in so you can get some broadsides, but whatever, each to their own, I guess. So I'm just waiting for this bard to be outside my concealment radius, and then I'm just gonna pretty much putter along to the other side of the map and see what mischief I can get up to over there. Once I get out in the open water and I get a little bit speed and I can you know, kite a little bit while I'm crossing the open water, I'm gonna farm some damage off this Chambard here, because why not? My team has very efficiently sequestered the whole red team except for the bard over on the right side of the map, and they're not making any attempts to break out yet, and there's only 8 minutes left, which means that if we take the B cap, we pretty much won. So I'm just going to make sure we do that, and in this game, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. So here I'm going to farm a little bit of damage while I'm just crossing the water here anyway, and you know, battleships, when they get set on fire, they usually retreat. And if I can make this Chamba retreat even more, there's the fire, 2 fires actually, then he's out of the game. Well, he's already out of the game because he will have no influence on anything out there. And my battleships, or my team's battleships, are in a really good position. So I'm just gonna go over here now and first of all see if I can find the destroyer. And secondly, I'm going to put some pressure on the Reds, so my battleships don't take so many hits from the flank. Just gonna make sure I don't run into my own battleships here on the way. So the bot has finally seen me now. He's been set on fire a few times and he doesn't like it. So Ingenious tells you that he's looking at me. So that's okay. I'm just gonna prepare for an incoming salvo, and there it is. And the low caliber on bot doesn't really worry me too much. And I still have 2 health left. So that was a wasted shot there. And I'm almost in position now. And I'm just going to see if I can figure out if I should use my radar, because I was just spotted there for a second and I can see smoke over under the D icon, and there's the DD. We just popped the radar and he is, you know, caught in the open, and too bad. So that's the other DD, and you know, my job in this battle here is done now. Anything else that happens from now on is just a bonus. This is what I built my ship specifically to do, and I have done exactly that. I have helped out my team probably the most I possibly can by taking out both destroyers. The first one pretty much immediately, and the second one at the first opportunity I had. Someone else already got to him, giving him lots of damage, but I had him caught within 7 kilometers in radar, so it's just a matter of time before I had picked him off completely. As it was, I only needed 1 salvo to take him out. Just got cheated out of the kill there, but that's okay. So there's a Kurfürst over here, and we'll just sit here behind the island and set him on fire, as you do in these cruisers here. And sure, it's unfair, but what else are you gonna do? So get a fire again, and that's very nice. And of course he starts looking at me immediately, and I'm just gonna angle a little bit to see if I can't take the nastiness out of whatever salvo is incoming. So my worry now is the Minotaur, because if I was the Minotaur, I would make some sort of Hail Mary play now, because like these guys are going to lose, and surely they must know that by now. So this is usually the time where Minotaurs come out for YOLO torp runs, and battleships just go nose in and tries to take out the nearest cruiser, which is usually always me. So that's why I'm being a little bit careful here. I just want to see what this Minotaur is doing. That's why I keep switching back between AP and HE, because I'm thinking, do I go for the Kurfürst or do I go for the Minnow? And then I realize the Minnow is going for my battleship, so I'm thinking, okay, well, we're gonna go for the Minnow then. So I switched to AP and just finished the circle I was doing here, so I can line up my shot, because as you can see, the Minnow is going for what looks like a YOLO torp run here, and I'll see if I can't remove him before he gets his torps off. And of course I have my sonar on now, so I'm helping the battleship spot this cruiser here. If I don't have my sonar, no one can see this guy, and we don't know when the torps are coming. So always remember to do that. Like, your sonar is not just for you, it's to help your team out. And I got a Citadel. I was so close to whacking him there, but it didn't happen. But that's okay, someone else takes care of that, and the battleship escapes death. So this is like pretty wild cruiser support play here. Taking out all destroyers and protecting my battleships. That's what you do in a cruiser. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this stealth radar build with Beapley, and I'll see you out there.